Welcome everyone to our follow-up from episode 3 of Uncensored Perception with Angie Agnoni, our regional or city astrologer. Hi, Angie, how are you?
Hi, good morning. Doing well, thank you.
That podcast was off the hook. Like, honestly, I listened to it in my car multiple times already. And I've learned so much from you just in that, short period of time, that 30 minutes that we had together. So I'm really excited for this follow-up. We have Natalie on with us. Say hi, Natalie.
Hello.
So what's really cool today is we're going to be able to see your skills of what you do on a daily basis and the holistic way that you present astrology. And I'm really excited, honestly, about this. So I'm going to let you take over and do your thing and kind of explain what you're doing and all that good stuff. So
So I'm going to share my screen because on the podcast that was audio only and the listeners didn't get to see what we were actually looking at. So today we're going to be able to see the charts, and you can see my screen all right?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
Sure can.
So what we have here is that map of the sky, a zodiac chart wheel, and we're looking at the current time. So today is March 29th, 2021 at 8:51 a.m. and I'm located in Barberton, Ohio. So right here we have the horizon line. It's saying that it's giving me a location that 15 degrees of Taurus is coming up over the horizon in the east. So planets rise in the east and they come up and they set in the west. So right here is the glyph for our sun. So you can see we're 8:51 a.m. So the sun is somewhat close to the eastern horizon. As we move closer to noon, we're going to pop this up, move time a little bit faster. And here at about 1 p.m., the sun is going to be at the top of the sky. And so when you take a 360-degree circle and you divide it by 12 signs of the zodiac, you get 30 degrees for each sign. So today's location of the sun is telling me it's at 9 degrees of Aries, and it says 14 minutes. So that ticks like a clock, and it goes up to 59 minutes, and then it will click over to the next degree. So by tomorrow, the sun here is going to be at the 10th degree of Aries. And what else do I want to say about the chart? So what's rising in the east, or the big three in astrology, would be the sun's location, the location of the moon, and what's rising in the east. So this degree moves every 4 minutes. So it's kind of like a ticking of the clock. And, at 1:05 p.m., the 20th degree of Cancer is rising. It's 53 minutes. It's going to click over to 54, 55, up to 59. And then it's going to, in a matter of minutes, click to the 21st degree of Cancer. And so that's why having your exact birth time matters, because when you look at things in terms of timing, sometimes this 1 degree could be 1 year of your life. So
Yes.
Yes.
Let me stop here. So when you, on the podcast, at the beginning of the podcast, this is what you were covering on that day in specific time, correct?
Yeah. Yes. And you can see, I don't remember what the sun degree was, but it has, these planets have shifted a little bit, in their degree.
Mm-hmm.
So what we do is we put symbolism behind a planet and behind a sign. And these pie pieces here are called houses, and those are areas of life. So here I'd read it. This is the planet Venus. It's saying that she is at the 10th degree of Aries, and this is the 10th house of the zodiac chart. So you would just put symbolism behind that. Venus in Aries kind of likes to do what they want. It's Venus is very kind of she's almost in a masculine form here in the Aries sign and in the 10th house of career. So this person probably would not want to work for somebody, but would want to work for themselves if this were a person were born at this time.
Yeah. So let's stop here for 1 second, because what you just did right there is you took, where these planets are in space, and then you put a real life scenario to that, right? Saying that, hey, they probably shouldn't want, they probably wouldn't want to work for someone, correct?
Correct.
That's what you're saying. So that's awesome. That's what literally sparks me, because you can almost help, you're helping people guide their lives, right? Based on the time that they were born, and the where the planets were, where the energy was. Really, it's really like, where was the energy when you were first, popped into this physical realm that we call, being on Earth and stuff. So I love this. I don't even know how can't express anymore how cool this is. And I'm excited to continue to move forward. So sorry, I just had to throw that in there.
No, that's cool. So yeah, we'll and I guess we'll just kind of move this along and watch the sky move here. And when a person takes their first breath, the clock stops. And this is your roadmap to life. This is
Wow.
shows you so much about yourself, shows you about events that have happened in your life, and is like a navigation guide. So Natalie, you have offered to have us take a look at your chart and see what's going on. So we've never met. This is a first time meeting, and I don't know your birthday yet. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put it into my software program here. And actually, just to make note, I'm using Time Cycles software. It's no longer in business, but you can get it through Astro Gold, would be the software program where you can find this. Yep. So Natalie here. And Natalie, what's your date of birth?
September 23rd,
Okay.
1987,
And what time?
7:11 a.m. Painesville.
All right, so the sky on your time of birth is here. Let me take a couple things off here.
I'm super excited. Natalie, are you a little nervous?
Like a good nervous, like excited, but my nerves are going, because I've never actually had the chance to analyze it, and like my viewing of it online is like from my limited knowledge, so I'm excited to learn about it.
Yeah, I'm excited for you for sure. I'm working on my breath work here to quell my excitement for this. Okay.
Well, what we have here when we look at the big three is the sun here is saying it's at the 29th degree of Virgo. So when I said it was, you take the 360-degree circle and you have 30 degrees of the zodiac, when you divide them by 12 signs, you're the very last degree of Virgo. You're what we call cusp, right? So in between Virgo and Libra, and your moon is here in Libra, and you were born with Virgo rising. So your sun was just about to pop up over the horizon when you were born. In the astrology chart, this first house, this is house number 1. This is the most potent area of the chart, and you have a lot of activity here. It shows that you may be, kind of a go-getter in the morning. The sun's about to rise. So imagine what it's like when the sun's rising. It's a brand new day. I have an optimistic outlook. I'm ready to go in the morning. So that could take place here. Also, if you look at the chart just kind of as a whole, it's like, what do you see? Well, I see a lot of planets kind of in this area. It's called a quadrant. And you have a lot of empty spaces throughout here. This a normal scenario that can happen, but it shows when you have a lot of activity in this first quadrant, you're really here to understand a lot about yourself. There's a lot of internalization, understanding what your purpose is here, and that's probably maybe why you're on this phone call or on this web call right now, is to gather more information on who you are and what your purpose is.
I love it.
So yeah, it also shows me, see how this sun and this moon are very close to each other? That is because just hours before you were born, a new moon took place. If the moon was across the sky, like it is here on our chart today, see how the sun is in Aries and the moon is opposite, it's in Libra. That's because we're under the energy of a full moon. But here, your sun and the moon are very close. So you're born just in a new moon. So a new moon, so there's a new purpose here in your lifetime. There's something that you're beginning and starting. And again, I think it has to do with, all right, I'm going to start each day with a new outlook every day. The sun here caught at the 29th degree of Virgo. That's what's called an anaretic degree in astrology, meaning that your purpose is here is it. Okay, we'll get into a little bit of past lives and whether or not that actually exists or not. I don't know, but if it does, then you have come in with a knowing and understanding what it is to be a Virgo. So a Virgo is about the purification, walking into a room and seeing what is out of place and knowing how to make it more efficient, taking a scenario and making it more efficient, and having a really strong focus. So, and being of service. Virgo is about, all right, I like things done in a particular way. I like all my ducks in a row. And I'll do things in a repetitive manner. And if somebody needs me to help them out, I'm there for them. And you are born at that last degree of Virgo right before the time of the equinox, because a few hours later, this sun is going to move into Libra, and that's the first day of fall. So at an equinox, it's equal day and equal night, where the amount of daylight and the amount of sunlight are equal. And so having that along with this moon in Libra and these Libra planets here in your first house shows you come in with a propensity to understand how to create balance in your life. You can hang a picture on the wall and know whether it's straight or not without having to use a tape measure. I see you smiling over there. So do you confirm some of these things that I'm saying? Does it resonate?
Yeah, so far, like to a T, like everything you've mentioned. And yes, about the picture, like I could walk in a room and notice what's off or what changed. Definitely of service. Yes, all of the above so far.
Yeah, so there's just a sense of aesthetics here, a sense of balance. You physically may be very, very symmetrical in your stature. So I guess let's continue on with a couple more things here. Sometimes it just takes me a minute. I got to read it.
Yeah, take your time.
Do you have any questions about areas of your life that you want to focus on? I mean, we can look up here at career, and I can see that Gemini is at the top of your chart. Gemini is a communication sign, as well as Virgo. They're both ruled by Mercury. So, your mind is kind of maybe always going. And you always have maybe a thought or two that you want to talk about. As far as career in Gemini, that's the sign of the twins. So you may hold two different careers, two things going at the same time.
Yeah.
You do. And, but it's often a message, some sort of message that you want to get out into the world, something to communicate here.
Yeah.
Well, that's why she's joined up with the polar plunges, right? And the breath work, and with the positive pineapple, and obviously with myself and all these other great people. Now Angie, Angie came yesterday to the polar plunge, which was awesome.
Oh, nice.
So
yeah, that was great.
Yeah, we're all challenging ourselves together, and I think we all seem to have this common mission right now, and it's very wild how we're all coming together, different walks of life, different areas of Cleveland. Obviously I'm on the west side. Natalie, you're east side, correct? Yes, east side. Angie, you're south side, right? You're, you know, on the other side of Akron. So very, very wild what's going on, and super, super appreciative of it. That's for sure. So, but I'll let you guys keep going. I was trying to give Angie a minute to read her.
Thank you.
the
Yeah,
chart.
and it helps because I do see something else I can speak on. Is here you have these planets that are kind of grouped all together, and then you have this one planet out here kind of on its own. In astrology, it's called a bucket pattern that we're looking at. It's a focus where everything kind of drips into this Jupiter. So this is Jupiter, and location is in the sign of Aries, in your 8th house. And to me, just reading it, for one, you can, I don't know if there's a family business going on within your family, but it's possible that you have a family business? Any entrepreneurs in your family that something about your family, your home life can be used to somehow secure things in your future. And like I said, I'm just reading this off the cuff, so I'd have to look at it closer. But also, it just shows. I think it does show an entrepreneurial spirit within you. Within you, kind of like to do things. Maybe it's even your own. Maybe it's the way that you seek. You step maybe outside of the family, and you're seeking new things that don't that haven't been what you have been raised with, I suppose. Like that's for new answers.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask too. So there isn't a family business, but I did kind of go down a different path. So I still maintain the relationship with my family, but was like the rebel, I guess, in the sense where even though like we grew up with a set of standards or like a conditioning, I appreciated it at the time because that's all I knew. But then honestly, like when I became a mom, that's when I really just started questioning everything and was like, well, okay, it was done that way, but I don't want to do it that way, and I don't have to because it's a choice. So that was like really liberating and really freeing because maybe that's what that means. And then the entrepreneur, that's something that I've been wanting to get into, but I am into so many different things that to condense it, I really have to like focus because I'm into so many different things. Right. But I definitely have that that drive and like that wanting to pursue that. I'm like in the brainstorming phase, I guess.
You're finding yourself. I think she was saying earlier, right? You're on that path of self-discovery.
Yeah.
That's why you're at the polar plunges, and you're making a commitment to yourself to get, to challenge yourself and discipline yourself. And, out of that always comes growth, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And too, with a lot of this Libra that you have here, Libra weighs their pros and cons a lot. They go back and forth, and so as you grow older and understand that you make good decisions because you do see things from another person's point of view, you do see the ramifications of both sides, and then the polar plunges, that is stepping out of your comfort zone, and I think an ability to get you to more to act. Because you may weigh your pros and cons so much that you end up doing nothing, and that may have been things in the past where you kind of were just at a standstill. But I think with the work that you're doing on yourself, and you'll be more confident in your decision making.
Yeah.
Because life is confusing right now, right? I mean, it's confusing for all of us with just so much going on. It's hard to make sense. So it's understandable. And you do have an ability here. This is Pluto. So Pluto is the furthest planet out from the sun, and it carries a heavy weight. It's very small in our solar system, but it packs a powerful punch. And where Pluto is found in our chart can be where our obsessions are, where we like to have control, and it's an all or nothing planet. It will give you everything and then it can take it all away. Well, you have Pluto in Scorpio in your house of your value and your worth and your finances. So you have a propensity there to have an all or nothing, to really go very far, you know, especially when it's used. All these planets can be, there's high vibration of the planet and there's low vibration of the planet. And as you rise and you're bringing more light to you and more positive energy, the positive manifestations of these planets will come through. And that's how I view astrology in that way.
It's like a polarity, right? The law of
Yeah.
polarity.
Mhm.
It was always going to be a one
Mhm.
extreme and, you know, the other extreme. And then, you know, where do you lie in that polarity? You know, are you taking steps in the right direction, you know, stuff like that, which is really cool.
Yes, so
What else you got, Angie? All good stuff. This is awesome. So what people are getting here and is an understanding. It's an awareness. Okay, maybe you've already felt like, you know, these things inside, obviously, and you're living those things, the things that Angie's going to tell you. But it's an awareness of, you know, those things, bringing that back up to the forefront and becoming more aware of who you are. You can better navigate where you want to go. Excuse me. So if I know who I am currently, and I'm aware of who I am currently, and I want to get to this certain destination or be this certain person, then I know that, hey, I need to change some things. I need to start, you know, breathing. I need to start challenging myself. I need to start, you know, balancing. I need to start, you know, going to see people like Angie. I need to start doing the right things to bring more awareness so that I can obviously affect change. And that's what's so cool about this, because it brings that awareness, and I'm huge on that for, you know, obviously navigating life, right? You got to be aware in order to make change.
So let's take a look at where we are now and see what these planets are doing over here. So this is current sky, and this is sky in 1987. So how is 1987 being affected by 2021?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I already know that, and my paper's over there when the exact date was, but I believe over the summer we had an eclipse at 15 degrees of Sagittarius. And eclipses are happen every 6 months, and they are great indicators of change.
Mm-hmm.
So when you hear the word eclipse, you kind of know change is coming. What's it kind of doing in my chart? So here we had an eclipse at 15 degrees of Sagittarius. So when I look at your chart, I see Saturn here at 15 degrees of Sagittarius. It's exact same degree. So that was impacted. So this is in your third house of your communication, what you're learning. Sagittarius is about travel, higher knowledge, and being a seeker. And so you have that ability, plus your third house has Scorpio right here. This is a sign of Scorpio on here. So you do like to research into topics, understand things fully. So, you know, you can understand, again, going back to that very first thing of understanding more about yourself. And Saturn rules your fourth house of family. I don't know if you had a change within the home this year, but we've all had changes in our home. Sorry, that sun's coming right in on me. But did you move or anything in last year?
Yes, moved in September of last year.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
And then looking to move this year. Not sure when though.
Lots of moving. Yeah.
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 Lots of change.
Yeah. A lot of change within the home, a lot of responsibility in the home that you've had, a lot of feeling like a lot of weight has been on your shoulders with maintaining a household.
Yeah.
That it's kind of moved off a little bit and lightened up some. What else can we look here? I can see that Jupiter here, our planet of abundance, and beneficial benefit here is at 22 degrees of Aquarius. That falls in your fifth house. Yeah. Fifth house of children and your creative pursuits and taking risks. So when I look at that 22 Aquarius, it's in an air sign. And here I can see that your Mercury is at 23 degrees of Libra and a fellow air sign. So that creates a 120-degree triangle. And that's your ruling planet. It's the planet that rules Virgo, and it's the planet that rules up here your career sector. So Jupiter trine that shows that, to me, it kind of has to do with maybe this call. Maybe you're understanding astrology now. Maybe this will set something off and you'll be really fascinated by this topic. Other than that, it just shows you may want to take this time and really get things written down. You have a natural ability for writing. It probably comes naturally. So to get those things out of your mind and get them on paper can really help. And you may have some sort of book or something within you.
Very cool. I literally spent COVID like downloading audiobooks. And I don't even know how many books I've read, because like once you switch to audiobooks, like you can read a book like in a day.
Yeah.
So I definitely read a lot and got really into like reading and then writing. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, and this is happening now. This is happening now. So take that time and you might be surprised what comes out of that pen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's almost like that, all that time spent doing that is like being applied. So that's interesting.
Yeah, you're always, so I always say you're always being bred in life, right? For something. And this is what, for me recently, I've just been connecting the dots of, going back 20 years, 25 years, 30 years and saying, okay, this happened, but then it led to this and it led to this. And my God, this is how I'm here, right? Looking back and tracing those lines. And, I think this is a really cool way of doing that too. Again, just bringing more awareness that everything happens for a reason, and you do have control over it in such a way that you control the way you react to it, but also you have the right to step left or the right to step right. And again, this is another tool to help bring that awareness and help navigate life, and it's freaking awesome. I love it.
Me too.
So I'll just end on this last note of looking at the elements, because we talked about this in the podcast. Fire, earth, air, and water. You have the green here is earth. So you have 3 planets in earth. You have 3 planets in the air sign. You have 3 planets in the fire sign, and you have 1 planet in water. So to balance that out, to bring a little bit more water in your life, head out to the lake, do some polar plunges, maybe bring in even a water fountain into the home, water element into the home, get good sourced water, and to balance that out. It's and
how much water do you currently drink in a day, Natalie?
That's funny you say that. So if I'm busy and I'm at work, I'll forget to drink water. And then when I feel sluggish or tired, I'm like, probably because I'm dehydrated. So I actually started filling up this like jug and then like getting excited if I make a dent in it.
I like it. So that is your challenge, right?
Right.
That's your challenge, to overcome that. So great things and great wisdom will come with the flow of that water. So I would, for me, looking at it, make a commitment to, doing that and seeing what comes about. And that'd be a cool little follow-up. Say, hey, she drank her water. What awesome wisdom came about through that challenge of actually saying, hey, I'm consistently drinking a certain amount of water every single day. And boom, what came out of it? So there's always some sort of pot of gold at the end of a challenge, is what I believe. And it always seems to come true. So, very cool stuff. Angie, do you want a final note here? Natalie?
And Natalie, do you have any questions? Anything that I can further answer?
I don't believe I have any questions. I'm just trying to take it all in, and I'm happy that we went over it.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to like keep it all in there. Usually I'll write things down to remember it. So I was like jotting it down.
Well, obviously, you guys can link up after this and kind of go a little bit deeper. I know, Angie, this is kind of a surface type stuff for you at this point. You need some time to kind of sit down and read these. And I mean, obviously, I look at it, my mind's going like bonkers just looking at it. So I can only imagine what it takes to read that and really come up with a really guided, informative, I guess, presentation, so to speak, to someone. So I think you did a fantastic job. I was thoroughly impressed by it. I'm sure Natalie was as well. So, I'm sure there's some questions over there that will arise with Natalie. And then obviously, you guys connect. And for anyone else out there, who's going to watch this and who listen to the podcast, again, understanding that awareness is key, and knowing who you are deep down is the key to happiness, so to speak, or finding yourself and moving in that direction, at least to better yourself so that you can help better those around you. So I appreciate you, Angie. Natalie, thanks for coming on, obviously. Appreciate you guys, and yeah, awesome stuff. Awesome stuff.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you
Will.
guys so much.
Yeah. Angie, any final notes? I'm sorry, any final notes here?
Just that you can find me through lakecountyastrology.com, and happy to share what I know with you, with anybody listening who wants to take a look at their own personal chart.
Sweet. I love it. So, hey, thank you guys again. You can find the podcast, Uncensored Perception Podcast, on YouTube. You can also find it on Facebook, again, Uncensored Perception. So we'll be posting this to Facebook and YouTube as well, so you can check that out. So, hey, everybody have a fantastic Monday. Gosh, what a great way to start it. And the sun is coming out. Woo, what a beautiful day. So you guys enjoy yourselves. Thanks again, guys. We'll talk to you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.